The princess is terrified to discover that her most beloved white rabbit has become a dish on the wedding feast. This is the first time he has ever been so furious, immediately knocking over the table and even wanting to strangle the White Lotus right then and there. The groom slaps him hard, scolding him for being too bold. The princess doesn't back down, saying that this statement deserves a punishment. The groom becomes nervous, as he has never seen the princess with such a terrifying look in her eyes. He knows he's just a stand-in for the prince. 3 years ago, when the princess's lover Qin Feng died in battle, he found a man who looked like Qin Feng and married him, showering him with love. That's why this time, the groom dared to ask to marry his cousin as a concubine, confident that the princess would make a concession. The maid says the groom's family is like leeches, clinging to the princess and drinking her blood without remorse. But the princess says it doesn't matter, because what she cares about is the man's eye corner beauty mark, which looks exactly like Qin Feng's. The princess also suffers from depression due to missing her lover. A moment later, the groom brings the White Lotus to the princess's room, claiming that the White Lotus isn't used to his room and thinks the princess's room is better, so he decides to give the White Lotus his room. He asks the princess if she wouldn't mind. It's the new wife's arrival, and as the main wife, you should give her a gift. She likes your bracelet, so why not give it to the White Lotus? Before the princess can respond, the White Lotus eagerly thanks the princess and prepares to take off her bracelet. The princess grabs the White Lotus's hand, saying it's a relic from her mother and can't be given to her sister. Then she gives her a golden hairpin instead. However, the White Lotus isn't giving up. After the princess leaves, she keeps bothering the groom, insisting on getting the jade bracelet. The groom promises to help her get it. This jade bracelet was the only memento left by Qin Feng for the princess before he went to war. When he left, Qin Feng said that if he returned victorious, he would ask the emperor to arrange their marriage. But he never returned. It was a farewell and a final goodbye. For 3 years, every time she thought of Qin Feng, she cried. But only when she saw the groom's tear mark, which looked exactly like Qin Feng's, could she trick herself. While the groom was giving the White Lotus some prenatal medicine, he suddenly wanted to eat rabbit meat. As soon as he spoke, a rabbit ran in and looked at the table. He saw his rabbit already turned into a pot of soup. He angrily asked where the rabbit came from. The groom had never seen the princess with such a terrifying look. The mother-in-law casually said it was just a rabbit. The princess angrily said if they wanted to drink rabbit soup, they could buy it from the market. Why eat the rabbit she raised? The groom claimed that the rabbits raised by the princess were better than those from the market. The princess could no longer tolerate it and knocked over the table. The White Lotus pretended to kneel and apologize, saying all the rabbits died because of her and that she would compensate. The princess grabbed her throat, demanding 1 life for 1 life. The groom slapped her hard. The princess had wanted to discipline him, but when she turned around, she seemed to see Qin Feng's face, so she gave up. Today's outburst made the White Lotus start to worry. The groom asked the White Lotus for her opinion. The White Lotus suggested that the princess should copy Buddhist scriptures for 3 days. 3 days later would be their big wedding. The White Lotus again brought up the issue of the jade bracelet. The next day, the groom came to see the princess, who handed him the copied scriptures. The groom glanced at them and threw them on the ground, saying that he didn't come to see her copy scriptures. He claimed that he and the White Lotus had been in love for a long time, and if it weren't for her interfering, they would have already been married. Tomorrow, he was preparing a grand wedding for her. The princess said that tomorrow's guests were the top officials in the capital.